Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got how good is Justin Jefferson actually? Let's check this out.
The NFL's average catchable throw rate from a clean pocket is 79.4% and 60.5% when the quarterback is pressured. But on a 4th and 18,
oh yeah, that one-handed catch. I'm still mind blown about how Jefferson caught this shit.
Kirk Cousins threw a ball that had just
now it isn't better. It isn't better than the OBJ catch because OBJ caught it with 3 fingers. But this shit is very close.
While falling back,
like being at the spot at 4th and 18 in the 4th quarter.
It may be the catch of the decade.
That is so clutch.
Jefferson is having the best career start of any wide receiver in NFL.
Like he's like when healthy, he's the best wide receiver in the league. The fact that he missed what 6 games last year and still cracked over 1,000 yards, crazy to me.
Most say the best receiver the Vikings ever had arrived
Randy
there in
Moss.
1998.
Hey, Jefferson may end up being better than Randy Moss, bro, and that's not even a hot take, bro. That shit might happen.
June 16th, 1999. Justin Jamal Jefferson hails from
Bro, this
New Orleans.
so this nigga's initial is JJJ, bro. What the
Jefferson was only a 3-star recruit. He was
his parents love J's, huh?
300 best wide
Because I know his I
Luckily,
think he's got a brother called Jordan Jefferson or something like that.
And this was where Jefferson committed to play. His older brother Jordan Jefferson was also quarterback at LSU when Justin was still in grade school. Justin started developing his football IQ early while watching film with his older brother. His high level of field awareness would later make him the player he is today. However, his college career started off in the gutter. In his freshman year, he only played in 2 games and didn't record a single catch. But Jefferson picked things up quickly the next season and became the Tigers' leading receiver with 54 receptions for 875 yards and 6 touchdowns in 2018. In
2019 was that breakout year.
Mark. In 2019, Jefferson stepped
1,518
up 111 receptions for 1,540 yards and 18 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson had turned himself into a legitimate draft prospect and declared for the 2020 NFL Draft, though he wasn't as sought after as you would think. Not a single wide receiver went in the top 10, and 4
that's crazy.
Like,
bro, what's crazy about everybody that went in front of him? You know what I'm saying? Burrow, you know what I'm saying? Franchise guy. Chase Young is on the verge of bust territory. Jeff Okudah's a bust. Andrew Thomas is really good now. Tua is somewhat decent. Justin Herbert's a franchise guy. Derrick Brown is underrated. Isaiah Simmons is a bust right now. CJ Henderson is a bust. And Jedrick Wills is somewhat decent as well.
Wide receiver went in the top 10, and 4 receivers came off the board before him. Henry Ruggs in prison. Jerry
Jeudy almost a bust. CeeDee Lamb elite, and Jalen Reagor a bust.
Minnesota didn't realize how lucky they
That's crazy that Jalen Reagor got drafted before Jefferson. Eagles really fumbled that bag right there.
And as soon as Justin Jefferson suited up with the Vikings, he put Minnesota on notice. Word was that the best wide receiver to put on a Vikings uniform was Randy Moss, and he lit up the land of 10,000 lakes in his first year. Moss's 17 receiving touchdowns his rookie year led the league in 1998. And though Jefferson only had 7 touchdowns his first year, he beat Moss in everything else. In the same amount of games, his 88 receptions surpassed Moss's 69 receptions, and his 1,400 receiving yards was higher than Moss's 1,313. Jefferson still found room for improvement. In his second year, he had over 100 receptions, something Moss didn't do until his 5th year. And Jefferson was averaging 95.1 yards per game. Moss didn't average over 90 a game until his 6th year. The comparisons will be there for a while. Granted, Moss was 6'4" and 210 pounds. Jefferson is just 6'1" and 195. But he doesn't play like it. He plays much bigger, like he has a cheat code against NFL defenses. Even Randy Moss has said Jefferson is the best receiver in the league today.
That's true.
How his high IQ makes a big impact on the field. 6'1" isn't necessarily small, but it sure isn't the tallest when it comes to receivers. Jefferson knew coming into the NFL that his footwork and route running would need to be better than everyone else's. And it seems like he has put the work in. Even when he's matched up against a veteran quarterback like Stephon Gilmore, he beat him one-on-one.
That shit was nasty.
Jefferson has developed extremely precise movements and paired that well with deception. His elite body control also lets him mask his route, so defenders are quick to lose him. Jefferson can dominate any and every route. This is a result of his dedication in the film room, where he studies the strengths and weaknesses of individual defenders and coverages with his teammate Adam Thielen, who is 9 years older. Now, pair all of that with his speed and agility, and you get a receiver who will not just burn you, but also get a high number of yards after the catch. In his 4-year career, he has 5,899 receiving yards. 1,827 of those yards came after the catch.
Yeah, because he gets so open.
Of his total yardage. He leaves defenders.
It's so hard to guard him. The fact they had Okuda on him is crazy.
But even when a defender isn't letting Jefferson get yards after the catch, even when they're trying to jam him at the line, he's still a problem because his body control and hand strength when catching the ball is different. Doesn't matter if a defender is on him.
That was a great ball from
Jefferson
Kurt.
has been so unstoppable that some defenders give up and just try holding him. Take a 5-yard penalty and call it a win.
Holding. Defense, number 5. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There it is. Listen, I don't mind that.
But Jefferson will still make defenders pay. He has enough strength to break free from a hold and make a play on the ball. How about when the defender jams him at the line and holds him and manages to do so without getting a flag? Can Jefferson then be stopped? No, he's a route finisher. And he doesn't just run the route, he completes it with the ball caught securely in his hands. So
that's great body control.
Jefferson was praised as an outstanding talent. But why did it feel like he wasn't getting enough credit? Well, his numbers were great, but he's been on a Minnesota team that went 7-9 and 8-9.
Yeah, Minnesota doesn't deserve him, bro.
Playoffs.
Honestly,
and since no one was seeing him come playoff time,
they come to the Ravens.
Jefferson was only able to make his big plays.
We could
in
add
the
a fourth
regular
this
season.
nigga.
Then the 2022 season came around, and it was time for Justin Jefferson to put the whole league on notice. He started off with a bang. The 2-time reigning MVP Aaron Rodgers and his Packers came into Minnesota's house, and Jefferson didn't blink. He caught 9 balls for 184 yards.
Damn.
One long ball that went for 64, where Jefferson showcased his elite route running.
Way to make an impact.
That yards after the catch. He had 2 touchdowns, and they trampled the Packers 23-7. Jefferson and the Vikings kept playing well. In Week 4, they improved to 3-1 after narrowly beating the Saints 28-25 behind Jefferson's 10 receptions for 147 yards. The following week, Jefferson went off again, this time against the Bears. 12 receptions, 154 yards. As more defensive coordinators were game planning against him, Jefferson showed off his mental toughness with his consistency and his physical toughness with his ability to hang on to the ball while taking hits. Week 9, they beat the Commanders 2017. Jefferson had 7 receptions for 115 yards and 1 spectacular touchdown, where the defender was practically in his shirt, and he still made a fantastic move to pull it down. The Vikings were now 7-1. They were turning heads, as was Jefferson. But it was time to head to Buffalo and see how they fared against a high-caliber team. The game went back and forth. It was close the whole way through, and even though Jefferson was having himself an afternoon, the Bills had the edge. They led 27-23 with 2 minutes left in regulation. The Vikings had the ball, but they had gotten backed up into a 4th and 18 in their own territory. It was do or die. Kirk Cousins launched the ball about 28 yards, and Jefferson leapt in the air for the ball.
That shit is crazy.
All the work that Jefferson
watching that shit live was
came
insane.
Together on this one catch.
Guy was losing. I'm like, no fucking way this nigga just caught that shit.
His athletic ability allowed him to jump into the air, twist his body, and get his hand in the right place. The defender behind
this moment right here was when Jefferson really became my favorite receiver in the league. Because it was Tyreek Hill.
Used his strength to pull the football.
But this moment right here,
with just one hand,
ended that real quick.
Allowed him to keep the ball in his hand to make sure it never hit the ground. It wasn't just the catch.
Strong hands.
It was the moment.
Pause.
It was grab this ball or lose the game. After the Vikings converted, the wild game continued, which led to overtime, and the Vikings winning 33-30 and improving to 8-1.
For the last couple minutes of the
93 yards and 1 touchdown that game.
Fourth quarter, bro, was crazy.
The NFC North with a 13-4 record. He finally helped his team get into the playoffs, and he finished the year with absurd numbers. 128 receptions.
He's going to break that 2,000-yard mark one day.
1,809 receiving yards, also most in the league.
There's 2 other receivers who can do that as well, CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill. Both of them came close last year to
the youngest player in NFL history
reach that
to lead
territory.
the league in both receptions and receiving yards. He also won Offensive Player of the Year that year. His 4,825 receiving yards in his first 3 seasons is the most by any player in history in that same
all
time
that cushion.
span. The previous record was
separation.
4,163 yards held by, guess who?
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss. Unfortunately, the 2023 season saw Jefferson get injured and miss significant time. However, he still played in 10 games, racked up 5 touchdowns and 1,074 receiving yards. Kirk Cousins got injured too, so it was pretty much a lost season for the team. Now, Kirk's out, and the Vikings brought in new blood at quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. And they just locked up Jefferson with the largest non-quarterback contract in league history.
Very much deserved, bro.
$140 million over 4 years. Justin Jefferson has put us all on notice. In his short amount of time in the league, he has been tearing it up. We are already seeing record numbers and absurd catches. If his trajectory continues, step aside Randy Moss, step aside Jerry Rice. The Louisiana kid might soon become the greatest receiver of all time.
Hey, bro. Hey, that's not too far-fetched to say, bro, because Jefferson is just unguardable. Like, even when you try to double team him, he still finds a way to get open. But I want to know what you guys think. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on post notifications to get notified whenever I drop another banger video. We want to roll to 300 subs. Let me get there for more banger NFL content like this. And without further ado, I'm out. Gang!